Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Dario here with another Options and Play video update. First off, thanks for all of you who stuck around last night with for our option session. Spent a lot of time talking about earnings, what we're seeing, what's happening, what we're looking for, what's working, right? So, as we get into kind of like a busier stretch of earnings season here. Just some of like the key highlights I thought were worth reiterating. One of those being that a lot of action is playing out prior to earnings and a little bit less so on the actual report, right? Like it's something I've talked about actually on videos recently. And um, yeah, I say if the market's giving you lemons, you make lemonade, right? So if it doesn't if people don't want to really bid things up after earnings or sell them off after earnings, then look for movement before earnings, right? So that's what I have been screening for. Good patterns that I see have like a reasonably good chance of making runs ahead of earnings because you are seeing pretty consistent movement still right up until the report. Now, basically three things, right? So I look for consistently good recent earnings. So from the company specifically, uh, I look for solid technical setup, right? Number two, and then number three is solid action in the sector, like the small sector or the overall market, right? So Snap coming off a very good quarter, one, right? Uh, Two, solid, real solid bullish trend, right? And the stock had rolled into the bottom of trend support right ahead of earnings, right? So rolled into trend support, held the 20-day perfectly, right? And then it started to wake up last week, knowing that earnings were on the calendar for this week, right? So you basically had uh, stock pull into real key trend support, hold it, and then start to turn the corner off of it, right? So you had a solid technical setup. And the third is strong sector or strong overall market, and tech continues to act fantastic. There, there have been pullbacks, right? But they've been shallow and they've been bought back fast. So this has turned into kind of like a momentum leader in like the social media space. It rolled into trend support, held it, and now the tech sector is acting great again. So you kind of had those three combination of things lining up for potential move higher and Snap ahead of earnings, right? So like that's why we went after a call looking for a rally ahead of earnings. So the stock has moved higher. Didn't sell right off the open today, which I do regret, but it did end up moving higher, and it ended up working like the way we drew it up, right? So I'm taking it off. Now, some people maybe want to scale back risk, whether it's like close 25%, 50%, 75%, maybe keep some. Maybe you want to turn the strategy into spreads to reduce risk, or maybe even want to like pick up puts or some sort of downside strategy to turn it into like a strangle, right, or a straddle. So there's a lot of optionality when it starts to work in your favor how you want to handle it. But for me, just because of the way things are playing out so far this quarter, uh, where I'm still not seeing like those really monster moves to reward option players, I decided to take it off, and I'll see how the numbers look. I'll see how the stock reacts, and then maybe that'll influence my next trade if ahead of earnings, right? Maybe instead of taking all of it off, maybe I'll hold a little bit, all right? So it's definitely fluid. I'd really love to see like the moves post earnings really get like huge, really like double up what the options were pricing in, or move like 50% more than what the options are pricing in. But for right now, just not seeing that. It can change really, really fast. Like it could be like nothing worked for a week and a half, and then all of a sudden everything starts to like really go crazy. So definitely keeping an eye on it. Subject to change, but that was the game plan for right now. All right. So if you like this video and you're looking for more earnings trade ideas, more pre-earnings trade ideas, right? Especially as we get into a couple busy weeks here, please follow up with the link in the description of the video for more information on options and play. Have a fantastic night. Best of luck if you were playing anything. And stay well, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.